Chapter 3 of Sinners and Saviours. Still can't believe what happened. Oh, by the way, hello, this is Chiak. We're back with another set of Detective D, Silk Rose murder. And yeah, so the case got taken over by the Empress herself, or whoever she plans to put in charge. But either way, next morning, how is D and J going to continue with his day? I still can't believe what happened last night. Why would the Empress end my involvement in the case? And how could she brush aside my warnings like that? By now, her men will have seized all the evidence we've collected on the case, but I can't give up now. I have to see this through to the end. Anything more written, or is it just the same thing? It's my journal. Okay. Just want to see if there's anything else, but it doesn't seem to be. Window. Yeah, okay, let's leave. To the courtyard. Still, someone fix it up, please. Huh? No. Yes.
Magistrate D, there you are. Have you heard? The Empress sent over Imperial guards in the middle of the night to confiscate all the evidence we had on the 3 unsolved murders. The note, the roses, even the bodies, they took everything and ordered us to stand down. Why is Her Majesty doing this?
Knowingly or unknowingly, seems the Empress is somehow connected to all this. We need to find out how.
But our orders were supposed to stop the investigation.
The victims deserve justice. How can I continue wearing this uniform if I do not honestly perform my duty? Come what may, justice will prevail.
I'm with you, Magistrate D.
You're a good man, Lieutenant Ma. I'm grateful to have you on my side, but we'll need to work discreetly.
Of course, sir. You can rely on me. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. When the Imperial guards came to take the evidence, they sort of left something behind. Or, to be more accurate, I kept something from them.
What do you mean?
You see, when we finished gathering all the evidence on the flower boat last night, I had the sudden urge to make copies of the killer's unknown markings.
You mean the pair of strange symbols on each of the notes he left behind?
Yes, exactly. At first I wasn't sure why, but those symbols somehow seemed familiar. Then it occurred to me. When I was a boy, my grandmother once showed me a poem that she had written as a young woman. As she read it to me, I stared at the wrinkled pieces of paper in her hands with a confused expression. The characters I saw were nothing like those I had learned in school. My grandmother passed away that winter. Regrettably, I never had a chance to ask her about the origin of those mysterious symbols, nor did I ever see that poem again. I know this may sound strange, but the symbols on the killer's notes, they remind me of the symbols in my grandmother's poem. Here, you can have the copies I made.
That's very interesting. Tell me more about your grandmother.
My grandmother grew up in a small rural town in the province of Jiangnan. Although she endured a hard country life, she always had a delightful sense of humor that could light up a room.
And despite her rural upbringing, she was able to write poetry.
But I suppose that's a bit strange, isn't it? I never really questioned it. But I suppose she must have picked up some language skills as an adult. She was a very smart woman. I wouldn't be surprised if she learned to read and write on her own.
What are your thoughts on the case?
I am at a loss, sir. On the one hand, we are tasked to apprehend this savage killer, and on the other, we are subservient to the whims of the Imperial Court. Where's the line that separates loyalty and blind servitude? How can we walk it and still serve the cause of justice?
Get rid of the doubts in your mind and you may see your goals with more clarity. All of us are held accountable for the power we wield. Even the highest ranked among us is not immune. Not from the will of the people.
Thank you, Magistrate D. For a moment there, I thought life as a lowly official in the countryside may have suited me better. But you've given me a renewed sense of purpose and confidence.
Okay. Interesting. Whatever you need, sir. Let's have a look at these then. Based on this story about his grandmother's poem, these could be characters that belong to a larger writing system, perhaps one lost to time or created in secret. I need to do some research. I should pay a visit to the Imperial Library. Okay. That should be it because there's nothing else. Everything got taken away. Wow. All the scrolls. Wait, how do you get the ones at the top? This thing doesn't go that far. Kong Meng Tao. Kong Meng Pu. Well, isn't our favorite academician? What? I don't know how to say that. Renjie. Look at his cap, you imbecile. That's a magistrate you're addressing. Ha! I knew that. I was just reminiscing with our friend about the good old days. It seems you've done well for yourself since your days as a studious imperial scholar, young magistrate. As my father used to say, luck favors the prepared. And prepare you did. I remember you spending all those long nights studying away in the lonely corners of this library. You were a true bookworm. Those are fond memories. Well then, it was nice to see you again, Renjie, or should I say, Your Excellency. But now, if you'll excuse us, we have some pressing business to attend to. But see you later, and they're just gonna book it? Okay. Can I look things up myself? Okay, thanks. Well... Actually, I was hoping you could help me find a book on the subject of the lost or secret writing systems.
I'm sorry, we can't help you at the moment. We're working on solving something very important.
Huh, like you're anywhere close to finding the answer.
I bet I'm closer than you. Don't make me come over there and teach you some manners, little brother.
Oh, they're brother and sister. You don't scare me. You haven't scared me since you stopped growing at the age of 12.
Why, you little...
Enough. What in the world is going on here? Why are you two bickering like little children?
It's this stupid challenge. We've been stuck on it all morning. It's so infuriating.
A challenge? Our colleagues from the Ministry of Public Works came by this morning to issue a challenge.
Yeah, a real pompous know-it-all, that Bo Mei.
Well, you see, we've had a sort of friendly competition going between the ministries. Every week we take turns challenging each other to different intellectual exercises. This week, it was Bo's turn to come up with a challenge, and boy did he ever! We've been racking our brains on this one all morning. So you see, we've led to help you, but our reputations are on the lines. Besides, our minds are just too preoccupied at the moment. In that case, perhaps I can offer you some assistance. Will you help me if I can solve the challenge?
I suppose that would be acceptable.
Yes, why not? Renjie spent so much time here, he's practically one of us. It's settled then. Let me help you and you will be free to help me. Great, let's begin. Bo Mei gave us 2 riddles. Oh no, not riddles. Each one revealing a single word. He said that the title of one of the books in this room contains both words.
That's right. All we have to do is solve the 2 riddles and we'll know the name of the book. He said that the correct book has a signed bookmark in it. We retrieve the bookmark, we win the challenge. Riddle number 1 goes like this. I once stood for more, but the flames ripped through and through. Now I am but a pile. Do I wish to say I miss you?
What? Sorry, I got a hiccup suddenly.
Riddle number 2 goes like this. I am in the air. I am everywhere. If you let me be, then you might just see. If you push me away, I'll go but return someday.
Dust? Wait, for some reason I was thinking in my head that this person is the person on the right was a woman. I don't know why. It would make sense that it's a man though. The dressing wouldn't be... Anyway, sorry, dude, but you get to keep the voice. My brother and I have managed to write down some possible answers on the scroll in front of you. We are quite certain the correct answers are in this list.
Just use the scroll to point out the 2 correct words. If a book with those words is in the title exists, we'll tell you where to find it.
We're counting on you, dear Renjie. Okay. I need the first riddle. Yes, first riddle. Okay, I once stood for more, but the flames ripped through and through. Now I am but a pile. Do you wish to say I missed you? So I once stood for more. The fire ripped me through and through. Now that I'm a pile, do you wish to say I miss you? I don't know about the I miss you part. I once stood for more, so I'm thinking tree. I literally recorded myself saying this, so... Do you wish to say I missed you? I am in the air. I am everywhere. If you let me be, then you might just see. If you push me away, I'll go but return someday. I hate riddles. Okay, let's hear the first one again. I once stood for more, but the flames ripped through and through. Now I am but a pile. Do you wish to say I miss you? I once stood for more, but the flames ripped me through and through. Now that I'm a pile, I am but a pile. Do you wish to say I miss you? Like, this doesn't make sense for that one. I can kind of see it being love. Ashes, how can that stand for more? This one, you can't really burn into a pile. An enemy? I once stood for more, but the flames ripped through and through. I once stood for more, the flames ripped through and through. Now I am but a pile. Do you wish to say I miss you? Do you wish to say I miss you? Do you wish to say I miss you? This is why I think of like love and stuff like that. A friend? I once stood for more, but the flames ripped through and through. I'm just... Where does like flames come into play? And like brute forcing this would just be an absolute pain in the neck. I once stood for more, but the flames ripped through and through. Now that I'm a pile, do you wish to say I miss you? See, everything is like... It's like... The riddle altogether doesn't make sense. If I say death, but then like death, I once stood for more, doesn't make sense. I once stood for more for cloud air, doesn't make sense. Friend, love, possibly. The tree? Like, I once stood for more of the flames. But then, like, how does the I miss you part come in for that? Life, I once stood for more. But the flames rip through and through. Now that I'm piled, do you wish to say I miss you? Oh, unless this is talking like a funeral. And then if you cremate the bones. Okay, maybe. Maybe.
I am in the air. I am everywhere. If you let me be, then you might just see. If you push me away, I'll go but return someday. I once stood
Okay.
before,
So
the flames ripped through.
I clearly didn't brute force it because I've been trying to listen over and over again. So I decided the first riddle was ash. And I guess I was right about dust being the second one. I just didn't understand how those were... I don't know, I guess I was close with the funeral thing. It is the part where it's like, do you wish to say I miss you? It's like, how does that apply to ash? But if you imply it in the context of the funeral, then I guess so, yes. But I was right about the dust. Wait, I know the book. It must be Portraits of Ash and Dust. It's a collection of melancholy poems by various writers. Okay. Let's, God forbid, boot this recording. Thank you. Surely that's the one. You can find it in the bookcase number 3 right behind us. How come I have to get it when you guys are the... Oh, E.R. San, bookcase number 3. Found the bookmark. It's the bookmark needed to win the challenge. Okay, I was wondering if we could read what's on it, but fine. No, we can't. There it is. Womay's bookmark. We bean you now, you rascal. And all thanks to our favorite visitor, Renjie. I'm glad I could help. Now, on to some pressing business of my own. I'm conducting some research on lost or secret writing systems. Do you know of any books on the subject matter? Hold on, I had to put my phone. There we go. Lost or secret writing systems, you say? I know of only one book that discusses that topic, but... Oh, that book! The one you let that woman steal from right under your nose. I let no such thing happen. She asked to borrow it for a little while and I obliged. You're turning red just thinking about her, aren't you? You know, it's against the rules to let outsiders take anything from this library. But all it takes is a wink and a smile from a pretty girl and you'll even forget your last name. I'll have you know, she told me where to find her. I just haven't had the chance to go down that way, that's all. So you have a name and address then? Yes, I do. Her name is Jingya Li. She sells flowers down at the Central Market. Wait, you mean to tell me you've known where to find her all this time and you did nothing? Oh, brother, I have to take you out more often. I'm detecting a fair amount of friction between the two of you. Has something come between you? I worry about him. He just turned 30 and he's still single, with not a prospect in sight. That doesn't mean you have to rub it in my face every chance you get. I tire of your constant reminders. Did you know my big brother has a wife, a first, a second, and a third concubine? How about his 6 beautiful children? Have you heard all the adorable tales about them? If you haven't, all you have to do is spend 10 minutes with him and he'll tell you all about his perfect family.
My dear little brother, I have never meant to offend you. I was just trying to tell you about my family so you could see how worthwhile it is to pursue one of your own. I'm sorry if I was insensitive about it. I only meant to help. It's not your fault. This bitterness I feel should not be directed at you. I should be happy for you. I'm sorry, brother. Please forgive my inadequacies. It seems you two care for each other very much. Now, perhaps if you could each control your tempers a bit better. Just like the good old days. Didn't I tell you, Mung Pu? Brother D is just as witty as I remember him. You can say that again. Okay. Thank you, both been very helpful, blah, blah, blah. Okay, time to go now. Goodbye. There's the flower girl. Central Market. Gungwan. He's dressed in silk from head to toe. Okay, we're looking for the cat food. Okay, I don't want to start grabbing the cat food quite yet. Here we go. Jing Yali. Her bright and friendly face matches the welcoming allure of her flowers. Pardon me, are you Jing Liali? Yes. Do we know each other? My memory is not what it used to be. No, we've never met. I am Magistrate Renjie. I am with the Justice Department. Oh, please forgive my impertinence, Your Excellency. I'm not accustomed to meeting court officials. There's nothing to forgive. We may forgo the formalities for now. Were you looking to buy some flowers then? No, I'm afraid I have much more... Sorry, excuse me, I want to sneeze. No, sneeze doesn't want to go, okay. No, I'm afraid I have much more serious matters to ask you about. Ask me? I don't know anything of importance, and even if I did, I probably can't remember it. But feel free to ask what you want. Tell me about yourself. Have you always sold flowers for a living? I grew up in the southern province of Jiangnan. My parents sold flowers at the local market for us as long as I can remember. They taught me the trade when I was still little. As I got older, I grew tired of the countryside and moved to the city. Chang'an has been my home ever since. You mentioned you have trouble remembering. What did you mean? Well, 2 years ago I was in a carriage accident. I don't recall much of it except for waking up in a ditch. But from that point on, my memory has been unreliable. Some people who witnessed the incident later told me that the carriage had fallen over, and that I was lucky only to have bumped my head. But shortly after, I realized something was terribly wrong. I couldn't remember certain things about my past, about myself. Where I grew up, my siblings' names, what I like to eat. These memories seem to fade, often out of reach. Even new memories can be hard to retain unless I make a concerted effort. That's unfortunate, but you seem to be doing well. Some days are better than others. Visual cues usually help jog my memory, so I often write things down. What do you mean by visual cues? Often, seeing a word or drawing can trigger my memory. Even a familiar object sometimes has the same effect. That's how I remember my hometown. I couldn't recall the name of the village I grew up in until I stumbled into a lucky charm my mother had given me before I left. You visited the Imperial Library not long ago. Why? I visited the Imperial Library? I honestly can't remember. A man named Kong Meng Tao let you take out a book even though that is strictly forbidden. Do you remember that? He and his brother, Kong Meng Pu, are custodians of the library. I believe you left quite an impression on both of them, especially Meng Tao. I'm sorry, I don't remember any of that. I have no more cards. Okay, so I need to somehow get her to remember. Never underestimate the usefulness of a quality umbrella, hence why you're taking it. Alright, got it. Can't talk to this guy, noticeably. What is this? The cafe?
Mrs. Chow. She keeps looking up, barely paying attention to her stall. We're not selling any soup today. I suppose that's fine. Wasn't really looking for a meal. I'm sorry for the rudeness. I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do. My poor Momo, he's in trouble. Momo, is that a relative of yours? That cat. Don't be silly. I'm talking about my closest companion of all. My beloved cat Momo. Oh. And I guess it should be pronounced Momo. Look at him, up there, on the awning. Oh my god, there is a cat there. I didn't realize. He's stranded. He can't get down. God knows how he got up there in the first place. My Momo is a gentle, timid soul. He never climbs on anything. Someone must have startled him. I've been trying to get him down all morning. Nothing's worked. He won't even come down for his favorite dish of fresh fish. Don't worry, I'll help bring him down. You will? Thank you so much. You're some kind of officer, aren't you? I knew it when I saw you. You have bright and kind eyes. My Momo is in luck. Posters? Of what? Some posters advertising various services, nothing really interesting. Okay, let me grab the cat food dish. Doesn't look like it'll support my weight. Okay, if we talk to this guy... Oh wait, I already... I have no reason to talk to him. I need to focus on the clues at hand. Is there anything else? The tip is surprisingly pointy. Am I sticking the fish on the umbrella? A fish skewer of sorts. Okay. We are. Do I put this on the table? Do I entice the cat with it? Where can I put this? Here, kitty kitty. He won't come down. You won't feel safe jumping into your arms. He needs a steady platform to land on. Okay, they want to do the animation of him. Here, kitty kitty. Is the umbrella really a steady platform? I think I got his attention. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you so much for rescuing my little Momo. Think nothing of it, Miss Cho. I'm glad Momo is safe and sound. Was that it? Can I take the chair? Is he... I don't feel like sitting down. Okay. No. Fishball soup. Okay, we saved the cat. Do I have to go back to the library and like ask for clues that could possibly help him, help her remember? No, damn it. Or maybe I just, give her the sheet so she can have a look at it. have no reason to give that to her. Okay. Okay, there's nothing more down here. Alright, who else can I interact with then? Can't interact with them. There was something about soup. Thought there's something else, but I guess not. I can only look at the soup, so I can't do anything there. Table. I don't know why I'm going to need to pick up the... Okay, can I talk to this guy now? Impressive display of silks. Okay. So I need something to remind her. Of... Okay, I don't imagine there's anything in here, but we're gonna go and see. No need to go down there. Okay. Okay, we can still head to the morgue. Coroner Yao, you wanted a word with me. You're damn right we're going to have a word. In all my years at this job, I've not once had my dead subjects removed from my care. What did you do to incite such fury from the Empress? I only did my job. Well, either you are really bad or really good at it, because I've never seen anything like this. Such a mess. It's all a big awful mess. Coroner Yao, is something else bothering you? You seem troubled. 2 years. For 2 years she cast me aside, then last night she suddenly reappears. For a fleeting moment I thought everything was going to be alright. I was foolish. She could never forgive me. No matter, I'm fine. I'm doing just fine. The case? That's all that matters now. Tell me, dear Renjie, will you continue to investigate this case, or would you rather cower in obscurity? I think you and I have more in common than you think. As long as I am an investigating magistrate, I'll continue to seek justice for those in need. I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, how can I help you? What are your thoughts on the case? You have my full support. Whatever you wish to choose to do, I am a has-been and never was. They can't hurt me. But remember, be careful who you choose as your enemy. This town's not for the faint of heart. And it doesn't take a genius to know something fishy is going on. But perhaps you're just the right man to find out what that something is. It's my privilege to have you as an ally, Coroner Yao. Were you able to conduct full autopsies on the 2 victims last night? I certainly did, but alas, my findings only confirmed what we already knew. Shi Wenyan was killed in the same manner as Xu Linfei, while Yuan Qiqi tried to fight off her assailant. However, I did find something else. Here, this was tangled up in Yuan Qiqi's hair. It's a flower petal of some sort. I didn't think Her Majesty would mind us keeping such a small, insignificant item. A petal? This must have fallen off the rose that the killer left behind. It certainly looks like it, but there's more. Take a closer look at it. Can you see? Or rather, feel something different about it? Okay, for the silk merchant. You're right. Despite its appearance, it doesn't feel like the flesh of a real rose petal. Why didn't I notice this before? The stems have been real, but the petals are man-made. If, like everyone else, you were holding the stem to inspect those roses, you would have missed it. Yes, of course. This material resembles silk, but it's firm and soft at the same time. I've never seen silk like this before. Neither have I, but I may know someone who has. In the central market, there is a silk merchant named Gun Wan. No one knows more about silk than he does. You should pay him a visit. Who did you encounter last night? That's none of your business. Okay, so now we have a reason to talk to the silk merchant. Hey ho, silk merchant. Ah, I see you're looking at my fine silks. Does the distinguished gentleman require any assistance picking out the right fabric today? My shop is renowned for its unique assortments of silks. Dare I say you'll not find a better collection in all of the Empire. You're quite the collection, but I'm afraid I won't be buying anything today. My name is Renjie. I am an investigating magistrate. I've come because I need to identify the provenance of a peculiar piece of fabric, which I believe to be a rare variety of silk. In short, I require the assistance of an expert silk trader. I heard you're one of the best in the city. Ah, you flatter me, Magistrate D. My name is Gung Wang. What can I do to assist you? Tell me about yourself. Have you always worked around silk? Some find it strange when I tell them I loved silk since I was a little boy. Couldn't get enough of it, often sneak into my mother's dressing room to roll around in her silk dresses, just to feel the coolness of the material's embrace. But I digress. They called me and I answered. My passion for it has put me where I am. I can't complain. I need to identify this piece of silk. What can you tell me about it? Let me see that. Where did you get this? It was left behind at a crime scene. Oh dear. There must be some kind of mistake, this fabric. I'd recognize it anywhere. It is one of my creations. One of yours? Yes, a rare silk that is thick yet soft, sturdy yet elegant. I designed it as a decorative fabric to be made into curtains or valances. But it was a failure as a commercial product. People lamented its weight and thickness. They also complained that it was overpriced. But there was one person who was able to make use of it, a block printer named Gu Chuang. He said the silk was perfect for a new printing method he is developing. Tell me more about Gu Chuang. I can tell you what I know, but it isn't much. Do you know where I can find Gu Chuang? Can't really help you there. Unless I'm dealing with a big buyer, I don't usually request an address. But you may want to speak to this soup stand owner, Mrs. Cho. I think he eats there from time to time. When's the last time you saw him? He came by a few months ago, told me he was retiring. Something about his protege betraying him. I haven't seen him since. He looks depressed if you ask me, but then again, I'm no physician. Okay. So, oh god, we haven't found any evidence thus far. This is the first. No, no. Talk. No, I keep skipping. Thank you for rescuing my little Momo. I don't know how to think nothing of it, Miss Cho. I'm glad Momo is safe. It's sound. I'm investigating Magistrate Renjie. Can I ask you a few questions? Yes, of course. Tell me about yourself. How long have you had the soup stand? I started selling soup in this market 25 years ago. I loved it so much I never bothered getting married. Didn't really see the need anyway. Too much hassle, if you ask me. All I need is my Momo and my loyal customers. I'm trying to locate a man named Gu Chuan. I believe he is a regular customer of yours. Ah, Gu Chuan the block printer. I don't know anything about him other than his occupation. He tends to come at different hours of the day and likes to keep to himself. Too bad, really. If I ever did get married, he'd be a good candidate. Anyway, he eats here at least once a week. Loves my fishball soup. In fact, he was here just yesterday afternoon. He was here yesterday, are you sure? Yes, quite. He came by late in the afternoon, had 3 bowls of soup while playing with Momo. They get along really so well. He stayed for a while too. I remember because by the time he got up to leave, the sun was coming down. When he was here yesterday, did you notice anything out of the ordinary? Something he might have said or done? No, I can't say I did. He had his favorite soup, then he left. Oh wait, yes, I remember now. Before leaving, he got up and looked at the advertisement on the wall over there. I think he stood there for a little while before taking one of them. Why would Guchuan be a good candidate for marriage? He seems to love cats. I saw him pet Momo in the gentlest way. That's a man I can admire. Okay. If Guchuan was here yesterday afternoon, then he has an alibi for at least one of the murders. Nonetheless, I need to question him to find out his involvement. These posters are advertising services at 2 different locations. If I can deduce which poster Guchuan took with him, I may be able to track him down. Mrs. Cho says she saw Guchuan taking a poster before leaving. He must have taken the one in the middle, but he didn't tear off the paper cleanly. I can see red ink on the paper fragment he left behind. The title in the red ink reads Musical Show. This is an advertisement for musical performances. It is taking place today at the Golden Gate Theater. The title in the green ink reads Kung Fu. This is an advertisement for martial arts demonstrations. It is taking place today at the Green Bow Academy. The red ink on the torn paper matches that of the musical performance poster. It may be a long shot, but there's a chance Guchuan will be visiting the Golden Gate Theater today. I should mark it on my map. Okay. There's nothing else I can do. Oh, right here. Zhou twins. The sign outside introduced them as the famous Zhou twin sisters of Canton. They are performing beautifully in on the pipa. Enjoying the show? Marvelously, simply marvelous. To think the Zhou sisters were in town and I only found out about it yesterday. You look like someone who appreciates good music. Are you also an admirer of the twins' famous pipa duet? Indeed, I do enjoy a good musical performance, but unfortunately, I'm not here to discuss that. I am Magistrate Renjie from the Justice Department. Are you Guchuan, the block printer? Yes. Well, no. What I mean is, I am Guchuan, but I no longer do any printing. Wait, how do you know who I am? Your name has come up during a murder investigation. What? How can that be? I've never heard a soul in my life. In that case, you won't mind me asking you a few questions. Very well. I have nothing to hide. Tell me about yourself. I was a block printer all my life. It wasn't a very glamorous job, but I was good at it. It's harder than it looks, you know, curving individual pieces of wood reliefs. It takes time and dedication. For years, I had my own shop printing mostly on textiles. Business was steady. Some time ago, I decided to take on an apprentice. I once had a master who taught me the craft. I figured I'd pass on my knowledge and get some much-needed help in return. But things didn't work out as I had imagined. I've made my peace with it, though. Perhaps, after all, retirement has brought with it its own delights. Why did you retire? You're asking me to dig up the past, you understand. Events I'd rather forget. Even though what happened took place over a year ago, thinking about it still stirs up painful memories. As I said before, I started taking on apprentices. The first few were mediocre at best, they could barely keep up. Then, a young man from a countryside showed up. He was quiet and unassuming, almost deceptively so. But underneath, his intelligence and determination matched that of all my previous students put together. In a short period of time, he had mastered most of the skills that took me years to learn. His name was Han Sedong. His success was a great source of pride for me. I felt a kinship with him. I trusted him. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, everything changed. Please go on. Sedong became distant and erratic. At times, he seemed unable to focus, as if something was eating away at him from the inside. On those days, he would simply ignore my instructions and practice engraving the same symbol over and over again. I often wondered what thoughts had him so obsessed, so haunted, but alas, I never did muster the courage to ask. One day, things reached a new low. For reasons I have yet to understand to this day, I found out that he stole an entire roll of silk. When I confronted him, he became hostile. He called me a slave for not seeing the truth, for not supporting his mission. But in reality, I had no idea what he was talking about. That was the last straw. I had no choice but to turn him away. That was the last time I saw him. It broke my heart. My business floundered, but I had no wish to carry on any longer. I was ready to move on. I need to know where you were yesterday, between midday and sundown. Well, my wife and son had been out of town visiting family up north this past week, so I've been spending most of my afternoon seeing old friends. Yesterday, I meet up with 3 of them for a friendly afternoon card game before going for a stroll in Central Market. That's when I decided to stop by Mrs. Cho's for her famous fish soup. I think I had 2 bowls, maybe 3. In any case, I stayed there for a while before heading back home at dusk. Tell me about Han Sedong. Alright, what would you like to know? Any theories about what may have caused this change of behavior? I often lie awake at night thinking about that very question, but no clear answer ever emerges. Deep down, I believe something must have happened to darken his heart. Something terrible. He was a decent young man who was suffering in silence. That much I know. And to my everlasting regret, I was not able to help him overcome his inner demons. Could someone else have caused this suffering? Perhaps someone who was close to him? You mean a woman? I suppose that is possible. He never spoke about anyone in particular, but in the early days, I would sometimes catch a glimpse of him smiling to himself. You know, the way a young man smiles in contentment while daydreaming about someone else, someone special. But I never thought much of it. Truth be told, Sedong was generally quite clumsy around our female customers. He usually kept his head down, almost too shy to look at them in the eyes. What do you know about his past? Sedong was an orphan and a drifter. He spent most of his childhood moving from place to place on the other side of the Wei River. For most of his life, he was poor and maltreated, never really loved, never completely abandoned. He was invisible. When I met him 2 springs ago, he had just arrived in the city and was looking for work. I took a chance on him, a decision I don't regret. You said he repeatedly carved the same symbol. Do you recall what it was or what it meant? Yes, how could I forget? Some days his desk would be full of wood blocks engraved with it. Strangely, I never saw him print it on anything. The symbol itself was thin and wavy. It looked like scratch marks more than anything else. I just assumed it was some random scribble. Does the silk stolen by Han Sedong match that of this rose petal? It looks like it's been dyed, but otherwise its texture and weight is unmistakable. Yes, this looks like the same silk Sedong stole from me. And you bought the silk from Gungwan in the Central Market? Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. In fact, Gungwan is the only silk merchant who carried this unique material. I know because I looked long and hard for silk like this to complement my experimental printing methods. Innovation, that's the secret to success. Do you know where I can find Han Sedong? He used to have a little shack by the river. I don't know if he still lives there. Here, I'll mark it on your map. But before you go, there's one more thing you should know. Just before we parted, Sedong handed me a piece of paper. He said it was a matter of life and death, and I should keep it on me at all times. He said someone would eventually come looking for him. and that when that happened, I should give it to that person. I don't know how, but I think he knew that you were going to find me. Here, it's yours now. Maybe you can make sense of it. Thank you for your cooperation. Magistrate D, do you really think Han Sedong is guilty? On second thought, don't answer that. I think I prefer not knowing. Okay. Go back to your music. Okay. Would this be in combination with... We still need that book from the flower lady girl. Yan Li. What's your name? Jing Yan Li. Yali. Okay, just had to make sure that there is nothing more. Either way, we're gonna head to the river. Okay, all the way out here.